Imagine for a moment, just for a moment, that you could choose your life. Not just your job or where you live, but the very era you were born into. What if you closed your eyes tonight, and instead of waking up to the familiar sound of your alarm, you woke up to the gentle murmur of a city stirring 2,000 years ago? What if you found yourself in ancient Rome? Now, I know what you might be thinking. Hard labor, relentless sun, the weight of an empire on your shoulders. But what if it didn't have to be that way? We yearn to be artists, writers, thinkers, creators. What if you could have that dream, but in a world of marble and myth? Picture this. The first rays of morning sunlight are spilling over the 7 hills, painting the terracotta rooftops in hues of gold and rose. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the faint, sweet scent of baking bread and blooming jasmine from a nearby villa garden. The city is waking up slowly, peacefully. There's a rhythm to it, a gentle, unhurried pace that our modern world has long forgotten. Perhaps you are a scribe. Your workshop is a small, sunlit room overlooking a courtyard filled with olive trees. Your tools are not a keyboard and screen, but a reed pen, a pot of dark ink, and a fresh scroll of papyrus. Your task today is not to answer 100 emails, but to carefully copy a poem, the words of Horace or Virgil, letting their beauty flow through your fingers onto the page. Each stroke is deliberate, an act of meditation. The only deadline is the setting of the sun. The only pressure is the one you place on yourself to create something beautiful, something lasting. The world outside can wait. In this room, there is only the rustle of the scroll, the scratch of the pen, and the quiet satisfaction of your craft. Or maybe you are a mosaic artist. Your studio is open to the street, letting in the light. Your palette isn't made of paint, but of 1,000 tiny, colored stone lapis lazuli for the deep blues of the sea, malachite for the green of the forests, and shimmering mother of pearl for the glint of a goddess's eye. Your work is slow, meticulous. You spend your day fitting these small pieces together, creating a scene of myth or a portrait of nature. A dolphin leaping from the waves, a cluster of grapes, so real you could almost taste them. People stop to watch, their faces filled with wonder. You are not just laying stones. You are weaving stories, capturing moments of beauty in a medium that will outlast empires. Let's continue our walk. The sun is a little higher now, warming the stone beneath our feet. We pass a baker, his hands dusted with flour, pulling fragrant loaves from a brick oven. The aroma is intoxicating, a simple, profound joy. He smiles as we pass. There is a sense of community here, of shared purpose. Everyone has their role, their craft, their small but essential part in the life of this great city. What if you were a perfumer? Your shop is a haven of scent, filled with clay, amphorae, and delicate glass bottles. You spend your days distilling the essence of flowers, roses from Egypt, lavender from the hills of Gaul, frankincense from the distant lands of Arabia. You blend them with oils and spices, creating fragrances that will adorn senators and empresses. Your work is a kind of alchemy, transforming simple petals and resins into something magical, something that can evoke a memory or inspire a dream. You close your eyes, inhaling a new creation, a symphony of scents that transports you to a blooming garden on a perfect summer afternoon. Or perhaps your calling is simpler still. You could be a gardener in a patrician's villa, tending to the peristyle garden. Your days are spent with the earth, your hands in the soil, You prune the grapevines, water the fig trees, and cultivate rows of herbs, rosemary, thyme, and mint. Your world is one of green leaves, buzzing bees, and the gentle trickle of a small fountain in the center of the courtyard. You are a custodian of life, a creator of tranquility. In this walled garden, the noise and politics of Rome fade away, leaving only the peace of nature. You watch a lizard sun itself on a warm stone, completely at ease, and you too feel that same sense of perfect peace. As midday approaches, the city's hum grows a little louder, but it's a pleasant sound, the sound of life being lived. We can hear the murmur of voices from the forum, the distant laughter of children playing. There is no rush. Shops may close for a few hours in the afternoon, a time for rest, for a simple meal, for a quiet nap in the shade. Imagine that, a built-in pause, a collective exhale in the middle of the day. Maybe you are a librarian at the great library of Trajan. You are surrounded by knowledge, by thousands of scrolls containing the wisdom of the ages. Your job is to preserve and organize them, to help scholars and students find the texts they seek. The air in the library is cool and smells of old paper and cedarwood. It's a quiet, contemplative space, a sanctuary for the mind. You spend your day in the company of philosophers, poets, and historians. You are a guardian of stories, a keeper of the human spirit. Let's allow this feeling of calm to deepen. The day is winding down now. The harsh light of noon has softened into the warm, honeyed glow of late afternoon. The shadows are growing long. The pace of the city slows once more. People are returning to their homes, to their families. Picture yourself back in your chosen role. The scribe cleans his pen and rolls up his finished scroll. The mosaic artist sweeps the last of the stone fragments from his floor. The perfumer puts the stoppers back in her precious bottles. The gardener makes one last round, ensuring all his plants are content for the night. There is a profound sense of accomplishment, a quiet pride in a day's work well done. Not a feeling of exhaustion from a stressful battle, but a gentle, pleasant tiredness that comes from creative effort. As evening descends, the city is bathed in the purple light of twilight. Oil lamps begin to flicker in the windows, casting a soft, inviting glow. The air grows cooler, carrying the scent of wood smoke from kitchen fires. Families gather for their evening meal. The sounds of conversation and quiet laughter drift from open doorways. You can now let go of this ancient Roman dream. Let the images of cobblestone streets and sunlit courtyards fade. But hold on to the feeling of peace, the feeling of choosing a life of quiet purpose, the feeling of a day lived without rush, without stress. The soft hiss of the oil lamp is the only sound that breaks the stillness. That and the gentle rustle of parchment as I unroll another ancient scroll. My world is one of ink and vellum, of hushed whispers and the scent of aging paper. Welcome to my life as a keeper of the great library. The sun has long since dipped below the horizon, and the only light comes from the flickering candles that line the towering shelves, their flames dancing and casting long, wavering shadows across the endless rows of knowledge. Each night, my duties are the same, yet each night feels like a new discovery. My first task is always to walk the labyrinthine corridors, ensuring every lamp is lit and no scroll is out of place. The air is cool and carries the unique fragrance of dust, leather, and something else, something timeless. It's a scent that tells stories all on its own. The silence here isn't empty, it's full. It's filled with the thoughts of 1,000 minds, the dreams of countless generations, all captured and preserved on these delicate rolls. My main responsibility is organization. You might think it's a simple task, but each scroll is a universe unto itself. I categorize them by subject, by era, by author, history, philosophy, astronomy, forgotten mythologies. They all have their designated sections. I run my fingers along the smooth wooden tags, my mind a map of this entire sanctuary. A new shipment of texts arrived today from a distant kingdom, and my evening will be spent carefully cataloging each one. I'll read the first few lines, discerning its contents, before assigning it a home among its peers. It's a meticulous process. One mistake could send a scholar on a week-long wild goose chase, so I am careful. My hands, stained with a faint trace of ink, move with a practiced rhythm. Unroll, read, document, roll, tie, and shelve. It's a quiet dance I've perfected over many years. The scholars who visit are a quiet folk, much like the library itself. They come seeking answers, inspiration, or simply a refuge from the noisy world outside. A young astronomer might need the star charts from the Third Dynasty, while an elderly poet might ask for the lost verses of Ilara. I am their guide. I listen to their hushed requests, my mind already navigating the shelves to find what they seek. There's a deep satisfaction in connecting a seeker with their knowledge. I remember a young woman who was searching for a particular text on herbal remedies to help her village. After days of searching, we finally found it, tucked away in a dusty corner. The look of pure gratitude on her face was worth more than any coin. That is the true reward of this life, being a quiet bridge between the past and the present. The library is more than just a building full of books. It's a living entity. It breathes with the collective wisdom of humanity. Sometimes, late at night, when the last scholar has departed and I am alone with the scrolls, I feel it most strongly. I'll pick a random scroll, one I've never seen before, and let its story unfold under the gentle candlelight. Tonight, I found a personal journal of a sailor who circumnavigated the globe centuries ago. His words painted vivid pictures of towering waves, strange creatures, and skies filled with unfamiliar stars. For a few moments, I wasn't in a library. I was on his ship, feeling the spray of the sea on my face. This is the magic of my work. It's not just about organizing texts, it's about preserving worlds. Each scroll is a doorway. Through them, I have witnessed the rise and fall of empires, debated philosophy with the great thinkers, and traveled to lands that exist only in memory. My life may seem solitary to an outsider, but I am never truly alone. I am in the constant company of poets, kings, scientists, and dreamers. The peace here is profound. It seeps into your bones. The endless pursuit of progress and power that rages outside these walls feels distant and insignificant. Here, the only currency is knowledge, and the only ambition is understanding. The flickering candlelight makes the gilded letters on some of the more ornate scrolls glimmer like trapped stars. The silence allows you to hear your own thoughts with a clarity that is impossible to find elsewhere. It's a tranquility that heals the soul. As the night deepens, a quiet rhythm settles over the library. The soft crackle of a log in the grand fireplace at the center of the main hall, the occasional creak of an old floorboard, the distant hoot of an owl outside the high arched windows. These are the sounds of my world. I take a moment to simply stand and absorb it all. The sheer scale of this place can still be overwhelming. Shelves stretch up into the darkness, far higher than any ladder can reach. We have a special system of ropes and pulleys for the upper levels, a task that always feels like a small adventure. Helping scholars is the most interactive part of my day. They are often so engrossed in their work, they forget the world around them. I bring them warm tea and remind them to rest their eyes. We speak in hushed tones, sharing discoveries and theories. There's a camaraderie among us, a shared reverence for the knowledge we protect. We are all guardians in our own way. They by interpreting the past, and I by ensuring the past is there to be interpreted. My own small living quarters are tucked away in a forgotten wing of the library. It's a simple room with a bed, a desk, and a single window that looks out over the sleeping city. But my real home is here, among the scrolls. As the first hint of dawn begins to touch the sky, my work for the night is almost done. The new scrolls are catalogued, the lamps are refilled, and the library is ready for a new day of quiet discovery. Before I retire, I have one last ritual. I walk to the center of the great hall and look up at the domed ceiling, painted with a map of the night sky as it was 1,000 years ago. It's a reminder of how much we've learned and how much more there is to know. This library isn't just a record of the past, it's a beacon for the future. And to be a small part of that, to be the quiet keeper of its flame, is a life of profound and peaceful purpose. The world may change, but the stories, the knowledge, and the wisdom will remain, waiting patiently on these shelves for the next seeker, and I will be here to help them find their way. Thank you for spending this quiet night with me. I hope you found a little peace in our world of whispers and scrolls. Follow 4 more stories from the quiet places. Imagine a gentle cloud of steam, warm and inviting, rising slowly to meet you. It's that first blissful moment when you step into a warm bath. The day's worries, the endless to-do lists, they all begin to melt away, carried off by the fragrant vapor. You can almost feel the tension leaving your shoulders. Your jaw unclenches and your breath deepens. This isn't just about getting clean. It's a ritual, a sacred pause in our hectic lives. It's the soft glow of a candle flickering in the corner, the subtle scent of lavender or eucalyptus filling the air, the feel of a plush, warm towel waiting to embrace you. This simple act of immersing ourselves in warm water is a universal language of comfort, a signal to our minds and bodies that it's time to rest, to heal, and to just be. Now, think about extending that incredible feeling of comfort and care to someone else. Creating a sanctuary for a guest isn't about grand gestures. It's about weaving together these small, thoughtful details. It starts before they even arrive. When you're preparing a space for them, whether it's a guest room or just a cozy corner of your living room, think about what makes you feel at ease. Freshly laundered sheets are a given, but what about the scent? A light mist of linen spray with a calming chamomile or sandalwood fragrance can transform a simple bed into a haven. Lay out a set of soft, fluffy towels, not the old, scratchy ones from the back of the closet, but your best. It's a small luxury that says you are valued here. Let's talk about the power of scent a little more. Essential oils are your secret weapon for creating a specific mood. A diffuser is a wonderful investment, but you don't even need one. A few drops of lavender oil on a cotton ball tucked into a pillowcase, or a touch of uplifting citrus oil on the light bulb of a lamp. Before you turn it on, be careful. Its cool first can gently perfume the room. Think about your guest. Are they here after a long, stressful journey? Lavender or ylang ylang are perfect for unwinding. Are they here for a fun, energetic weekend? Maybe a blend of sweet orange and peppermint to invigorate the senses. It's this attention to detail, this anticipation of their needs, that turns a simple stay into a memorable experience. And what about the bathroom they'll be using? This is where you can truly create a spa-like retreat. Alongside the plush towels, consider a small basket with some essentials: a gentle hand soap, a luxurious lotion, maybe a new toothbrush, and some travel-sized toiletries. You could even include a small bath bomb or some Epsom salts, with a little note suggesting they take a relaxing soak. These aren't expensive items, but they communicate an immense level of thought and care. It's about creating an environment where they feel completely catered to, where they don't have to ask for anything because you've already thought of it. Hospitality is also about the personal touches. A handwritten welcome note on the bedside table is always a beautiful gesture. It could be as simple as, "So happy you're here. Make yourself at home." Maybe include the Wi-Fi password and a little tip about a great local coffee shop. Do they have a favorite snack or drink? Having it ready for them when they arrive is an incredibly thoughtful touch. It shows you listen and you remember. A small vase of fresh flowers, even just a single stem, can breathe life and beauty into a room, making it feel special and prepared just for them. Now, let's move beyond the physical space and into the art of conversation. Creating a relaxing atmosphere is as much about how you interact as it is about the environment. When your guest arrives, let your own calm energy set the tone. Greet them with a genuine smile. Offer them a warm drink, tea, coffee, or even just hot water with lemon. This simple act invites them to sit down, take a breath, and transition from the stress of travel to the comfort of your home. Keep the initial conversation light and easy. Ask about their journey, but don't pry. Let them lead. Some people need to decompress quietly, while others want to talk and unload. Being a good host means being a good listener and observer. Pay attention to their body language. Are they looking tired? Suggest they take some time to settle in and rest. Don't bombard them with plans right away. The greatest gift you can give a weary traveler is the freedom of no expectations. Let them know it's perfectly okay for them to take a nap, read a book, or just do nothing at all. Frame it as, "Why don't you take some time to relax and refresh? We can chat more later. The house is yours." This removes any pressure they might feel to be on as a guest and allows them to truly recharge. When you do have conversations, aim for them to be restorative, not draining. This doesn't mean you can't discuss deep topics, but be mindful of the energy. Avoid complaining or bringing up stressful subjects, especially early on. Instead, ask open-ended questions that invite reflection and connection. Questions like, "What's been bringing you joy lately?" or "Have you read or watched anything inspiring recently?" can lead to wonderful, uplifting exchanges. Share your own positive experiences as well. The goal is to create a conversational space that feels as safe and comforting as the physical one UVA prepared. It's a shared sanctuary built on mutual respect and gentle curiosity. Remember, the essence of all this is generosity of spirit. It's about finding joy in making someone else feel comfortable and cared for. It's the quiet satisfaction of seeing a friend's shoulders relax as they sip the tea you made them, or hearing them say how well they slept. These acts of hospitality are not chores. They are gifts we give, not just to our guests, but to ourselves. Because when we create a space of peace and warmth for others, we inhabit that space too. The calm we cultivate radiates outward, and then it reflects right back to us. So, the next time you prepare for a visitor, think of that warm, drifting steam from the bath. Think about how you can bottle that feeling of pure, unadulterated comfort and offer it to them. It's in the softest towels, the gentlest scents, the quiet understanding, and the warm, welcoming conversation. It is the beautiful, simple art of making someone feel truly at home. Thanks for watching. I hope this inspires you to create your own little sanctuary for the people you care about. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on finding calm and creating connection. Imagine a world painted in soft pastels, where the day begins not with an alarm, but with the gentle caress of sunlight filtering through ancient olive leaves. This is where our story starts, in a garden tucked away from the noise and hurry of modern life. Here, time flows differently. It's measured by the slow unfurling of a rosebud, the patient journey of a sunbeam across a stone path, and the steady, rhythmic splash of water in a hidden fountain. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming jasmine. My hands, stained with the rich, dark soil, feel a connection to something timeless. Each plant I touch tells a story. The lavender whispers tales of summer afternoons, its fragrance a calming balm to the soul. The rosemary, sturdy and resilient, speaks of strength and memory. Tending to them is a meditation, a silent conversation between me and the natural world. The soundscape is a symphony of tranquility. The soft, incessant hum of bees dancing from one blossom to another, their tiny bodies dusted with gold. The cheerful, intricate melodies of birdsong echoing from the cypress trees, a celebration of the morning. And beneath it all, the gentle, hypnotic murmur of the fountain, its water spilling over moss-covered stones, washing away any lingering worries. It's a constant, soothing presence, the heartbeat of the garden. Working here isn't a chore, it's a privilege. My tools are simple extensions of my hands, the sharp, clean snip of the shears as I trim the boxwood hedges into soft, flowing shapes feels satisfying. A small act of bringing order to the beautiful chaos of growth. I move slowly, deliberately. There is no rush. The sun warms my back, a gentle, comforting weight. The olive trees, with their gnarled, silver trunks, stand as silent, wise guardians. They have witnessed countless seasons, their roots running deep into the earth, anchoring this place in history and peace. This isn't just a job, it's a way of being. It's about finding beauty in the small details and joy in the simple, repetitive tasks that nurture life. Now, let's talk about the olive trees. They are the true elders of this garden. Some have stood here for centuries, their bark a roadmap of time. Pruning them is an act of respect. It's not about forcing them into a shape, but about helping them thrive. I study each branch, deciding which ones to remove to let more light and air into the canopy. It's a delicate dance, a collaboration. With each cut, I feel like I'm helping the tree breathe, encouraging it to produce the beautiful, silvery green fruit that has sustained people for millennia. The scent of the freshly cut olive wood is sharp and clean, a perfume unique to this place. And then there are the roses. Oh, the roses. They are the heart of the garden's color palette. Climbing roses scramble up ancient stone walls, their blooms like cascading waterfalls of pink and white. Bush roses stand proud, their heavy-headed blossoms perfuming the air with a sweet, intoxicating scent. Tending to them is a labor of love. I carefully remove spent blooms, a process called deadheading, which encourages the plant to produce more flowers. It's a simple task, but it's deeply rewarding. Each faded petal I pluck makes way for new life, a continuous cycle of renewal. I check for pests, not with harsh chemicals, but with a gentle spray of soapy water and a watchful eye. It's about working with nature, not against it. Let's not forget the fountains. There are 3 in this garden, each with its own voice. The largest one, in the central courtyard, has a grand, sonorous splash that can be heard from almost anywhere. It's a focal point, a gathering place for birds who come to drink and bathe. Then there's a smaller, more intimate wall fountain, tucked away in a secluded corner. Its sound is a gentle trickle, a secret whispered only to those who seek it out. Finally, a simple stone basin, constantly overflowing, creates a quiet, meditative burble. The presence of moving water is transformative. It adds a dynamic element to the garden's stillness, its constant motion, a reminder that even in tranquility, life is always flowing, always changing. The rhythm of the day is dictated by the sun. In the cool of the morning, I do the more strenuous work weeding, turning compost, planting new seedlings. The earth is soft and receptive. As the sun climbs higher and the day grows warmer, I move to shadier spots, focusing on more delicate tasks like pruning the roses or training the jasmine vines. Lunch is a simple affair, often eaten right here in the garden, under the shade of a large fig tree. The taste of fresh bread, cheese, and a sun-ripened tomato is amplified by the beauty of the surroundings. It's a moment to pause, to listen, to simply be. The afternoon is a time of quiet observation. I might spend an hour just walking, noticing the small changes. A new bud on the hibiscus, a spider weaving an intricate web between 2 blades of grass, the way the light plays on the surface of the fountain. This is when the garden reveals its secrets. It's a living, breathing entity, and the more you listen, the more you understand its language. I watch the lizards sunning themselves on the warm stones, their quick movements, a flash of life. I see the butterflies, painted ladies, and swallowtails flitting from flower to flower in their erratic, joyful dance. As evening approaches, the light softens, turning everything to gold. The shadows lengthen, creating new patterns on the ground. This is my favorite time of day. The air cools, and the scents of the evening blooming flowers, like the night-scented stock, begin to fill the air. The birds have one last flurry of song before settling down for the night. The work is done. I clean my tools, their metal surfaces cool to the touch, and store them away. There's a deep sense of satisfaction in this simple ritual, a feeling of a day well spent. Living and working in this way has taught me the importance of patience. In a garden, you can't force things. You have to wait for the seed to germinate, for the bud to open, for the fruit to ripen. This patience has seeped into other areas of my life. I've learned to be more present, to appreciate the process, rather than just focusing on the outcome. The garden teaches you that growth takes time, and that there is beauty in every stage of the journey, not just the final destination. It also teaches resilience. I've seen plants battered by storms, scorched by the sun, or nibbled by pests. And yet, with a little care, they almost always bounce back. They send out new shoots, grow new leaves, and bloom again. They are a powerful reminder of the tenacity of life. They teach us that setbacks are not the end, but an opportunity to grow stronger. When a plant dies, it's not a failure. Its body returns to the soil, enriching it, providing nourishment for the life that will follow. It's all part of the cycle. This connection to the cycles of nature is perhaps the most profound lesson the garden has to offer. In our modern lives, we are often disconnected from these rhythms. We live in climate-controlled environments, eat food that is available year-round, and work under artificial lights. The garden reconnects us to the seasons, to the cycles of birth, growth, decay, and rebirth. It grounds us, reminding us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. As the last light fades from the sky and the first stars appear, a deep peace settles over the garden. The air is still and cool. The only sound is the gentle splash of the fountain and the chirping of crickets. It's a time for reflection, for gratitude. Gratitude for the beauty of this place, for the simple joy of working with my hands, and for the profound lessons the garden teaches every single day. It's a reminder that even in a chaotic world, it's possible to cultivate a space of peace, both in our surroundings and within ourselves. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope you found a moment of calm. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing for more peaceful moments from the garden. Have you ever wondered what it's like to truly live in a city, not just visit it, to feel its pulse, not as a tourist, but as a part of its daily rhythm? Come with me. The Roman sun warms the cobblestones under my feet. It's early, but the city is already awake. The air is thick with the smell of espresso and freshly baked cornetti. My bag is light, just a few letters and small parcels tucked inside. It feels less like a job and more like a quiet mission, weaving through the ancient streets of Trastevere. Each delivery is a tiny story, a message from a son to his elderly mother, a gift between lovers, a book sent from a friend across the world. My task is simple: carry these stories from one hand to another. But in doing so, I become a silent observer of life itself. I see the nonas leaning from their windows, watering basil plants in terracotta pots, their chatter echoing in the narrow alleys. I see shopkeepers sweeping their stoops, greeting their neighbors with a familiar "Ciao, come stai." It's a responsibility I carry with care, not just for the items in my bag, but for the moments I'm entrusted with. These aren't just addresses on a list. They are threads in the vast, beautiful tapestry of Roman life. And walking these streets, I'm not just a messenger, I'm a witness. I see the city breathe. I see the small, everyday kindnesses that hold it all together. There's no rush, no frantic pace, just the steady, unhurried rhythm of a city that has understood the art of living for thousands of years. It's a lesson in slowing down, in noticing the details, the way a cat stretches in a patch of sunlight, the sound of a fountain splashing in a hidden piazza, the shared laughter spilling out from a trattoria. This is Rome, not from a guidebook, but from the inside out. And with every step, I feel more connected to it. The weight in my bag lessens as the day goes on, but my heart feels fuller. Each successful delivery is a quiet satisfaction, a small connection made. At one door, an old man with eyes that have seen decades of Roman history takes a letter, his hand trembling slightly. He gives me a smile that's worth more than any payment. He doesn't say much, just grazie ragazzo, thank you, son. In that moment, I'm not a stranger, but a small part of his day, his life. This journey is more than just A to B. It's a pilgrimage through the everyday. It's taught me that the most profound experiences aren't always the grand adventures. Sometimes they're found in the simple act of walking, of observing, of carrying a message through a city that has a million stories to tell. And all you have to do is be quiet enough to listen. My route today takes me across the Ponte Sisto, the morning light dancing on the Tiber River below. The dome of St. Peter's Basilica looms in the distance, a constant, reassuring presence on the skyline. But my focus is closer, on the ground level. I see a group of art students sketching the bridge, their faces etched with concentration. I pass a couple holding hands, their conversation a soft murmur against the city's hum. It's these unscripted scenes that I collect, like mental postcards. One of my deliveries is to a small bookstore tucked away near Campo dei Fiori. The bell above the door jingles as I enter. The owner, a woman named Sophia, greets me with a warm smile. She's been waiting for a package of rare books. As she unwraps them, her eyes light up with a passion that's infectious. We chat for a few minutes about literature, about the changing neighborhood, about the stubborn magic of physical books in a digital age. These conversations are the real currency of my day. They are exchanges of energy, of perspective. Leaving the shop, the market in Campo dei Fiori is in full swing. The vibrant colors of fruits and vegetables, the calls of the vendors, the scent of fresh flowers and aged cheese. It's a sensory overload in the best possible way. I navigate through the crowds, feeling the energy of commerce and community. It's a beautiful chaos. I stop for a moment to buy a juicy peach from a vendor who knows me by now. He always picks out the best one for me. It's a small gesture, but it makes me feel like I belong. My path then leads me up Janiculum Hill. The climb is steep, but the reward is one of the most breathtaking panoramic views of Rome. From up here, the city unfolds like a map of history. You can trace the line of the ancient walls, spot the Pantheon's oculus, and see the jumble of terracotta rooftops stretching to the horizon. It's a moment of perspective. Down there, in that maze of streets, are millions of individual lives, each with their own joys, sorrows, and deliveries to wait for. And from up here, it all looks so peaceful, so unified. I sit on a bench to catch my breath. The cool breeze, a welcome relief. A father is teaching his young daughter to fly a kite. Her squeals of delight as it catches the wind are pure joy. It reminds me that amidst all the grandeur and history, Rome is a city for the living. It's a place for first steps, first loves, and simple pleasures, like flying a kite on a sunny afternoon. It puts my own small role into perspective. I'm just a tiny cog in this magnificent machine, but every cog is essential to make it turn. The afternoon sun casts long shadows as I make my way back down into the city. My last delivery is in the Jewish ghetto, one of Rome's most historic and atmospheric neighborhoods. The streets are narrower here, the buildings leaning against each other as if sharing secrets. There's a palpable sense of history, of resilience. I deliver a small box to a bakery famous for its torta di ricotta. The baker, a man whose family has run this shop for generations, insists I take a slice with me. It's warm from the oven, sweet and delicate, a taste of tradition. As I eat, I walk towards the theater of Marcellus. It looks like a miniature Colosseum, and people still live in apartments built into its ancient arches. It's a perfect symbol of Rome. The past is not a museum piece. It's the foundation upon which the present is built. You live in it. You walk on it. You eat next to it. My bag is empty now. The day's work is done. But the journey isn't over. The walk home is my time. The light softens, turning the stone buildings a warm, golden hue. This is the golden hour, and it paints the city in magic. The pace of the city slows down. People are heading home or meeting friends for an aperitivo. The clinking of glasses and lively chatter spill out from cafes. I take a different route home, just for the sake of discovery. I stumble upon a hidden courtyard I've never seen before, with a crumbling fountain and overgrown ivy. It feels like a secret garden, a quiet pause button in the middle of the bustling city. It's these discoveries that keep the city feeling new, no matter how many times you've walked its streets. Walking through Piazza Navona as dusk settles, the fountain of the four rivers seems to come alive. The sound of the water is a soothing soundtrack to the end of the day. Street performers and artists are out, adding to the vibrant atmosphere. I don't rush through. I linger, watching a painter capture the scene on canvas, trying to see the city through his eyes. This job, this life, has taught me the importance of being present. It's easy to get lost in thoughts of the past or worries about the future. But when your task is to simply move from one point to the next, to be a conduit for connection, you learn to appreciate the now. You learn to see the beauty in the mundane, the story in the everyday. And as I finally reach my own doorstep, I feel a sense of profound gratitude. Grateful for the city that is my office, my playground, and my teacher. Grateful for the small interactions that make up a meaningful day. And grateful for the simple, quiet rhythm of a life lived on foot, one delivery at a time. The stories I carried today have reached their destinations, and I have my own to tell. Thank you for walking with me through my Rome. I hope it's given you a different view of this incredible city. If you enjoyed this journey, please like and subscribe for more stories from the road. See you next time. Have you ever watched a child lost in a book? I mean truly lost. Their eyes wide, their breath held, tracing the words on a page as if they were a map to a hidden world. Or maybe you've seen a small hand gripping a pencil, brow furrowed in concentration, as they try to shape the letters of their own name. In these quiet moments, something magical happens. A universe of stories, ideas, and dreams begins to open up. This is the world I get to live in every day, a world of first words and unfolding narratives. It's not about grand lectures or strict rules. It's about the gentle hum of a classroom, the patient guidance through a tricky sentence, the shared joy when a story finally clicks into place. It's about witnessing the birth of a reader, a writer, a storyteller. For the next few minutes, I want to invite you into this space to explore the simple, profound journey of helping a child find their voice, one letter, one word, one story at a time. It's a journey that requires more patience than anything else, but the rewards are beyond measure. At the heart of it all is creating a sanctuary for learning. Think of it as a garden. You can't force a seed to sprout. You can only provide the right conditions: good soil, gentle water, and warm sunlight. Our classroom is that garden. It's a space filled with comfortable corners for reading, shelves brimming with books of every shape and size, and tables where little hands can experiment with crayons, pencils and paper. The atmosphere is intentionally calm. We speak in softer tones. We listen more than we talk, and we celebrate effort just as much as we celebrate achievement. Why? Because learning to read and write can be intimidating. A child might see a page full of words and feel overwhelmed, like they're being asked to climb a mountain. My role isn't to push them up the mountain, but to show them the path, one step at a time, and to hold their hand when they stumble. Let's talk about reading. It begins long before a child can decipher a single word. It starts with being read to. The rhythm of a story, the different voices for different characters, the suspense of turning a page. All of this builds a foundation of love for stories. When we sit together with a book, I'm not just reading words, I'm sharing an experience. We point at the pictures. We guess what might happen next. We talk about how the characters might be feeling. This makes reading a conversation, not a chore. Then comes the alphabet, the sounds each letter makes. We don't just drill flashcards. We sing songs about letters. We build them out of clay. We hunt for them on signs around the room. We make it a game, a treasure hunt. When a child starts to blend those sounds together to form a word, their own word, the look on their face is pure astonishment. The CIT. Suddenly, those three little symbols become a furry friend they can picture in their mind. That's the moment the magic truly ignites. Writing is a parallel journey. It starts with a scribble, a beautiful, chaotic expression of an idea that doesn't have letters yet. We never discourage scribbling. Instead, we ask, "Tell me about your picture," and a whole story comes pouring out. That scribble is their first draft. It validates their impulse to communicate. Gradually, we introduce letters. We practice forming them, not through endless worksheets, but by writing in sand, on a foggy window, or with finger paint. We make it a sensory experience. We focus on writing for a purpose. We write a thank you note to the school janitor. We write a label for the plant we're growing. We write a story about our favorite superhero. This shows them that writing isn't just an academic exercise. It's a powerful tool for connecting with the world. We encourage what we call brave spelling, where they write the sounds they hear in a word, even if it's not conventionally correct. This frees them from the fear of making mistakes and allows their ideas to flow. The correct spelling will come with time and practice, but the confidence to write, to try, that's what we need to nurture first. One of the most powerful tools in our classroom is the story scroll. It's a simple idea, a long roll of paper that we unroll across the floor. We start at one end, and together we create a story. One child might draw a character, another adds a house, another draws a mysterious forest. As we draw, we narrate. Once upon a time, there was a little fox with a fluffy tail. I might begin. A child will add, and he was looking for his friend, the bear. Someone else will draw the bear hiding behind a tree. The scroll grows and grows, a visual tapestry of our collective imagination. This process teaches collaboration, sequencing, and the basic structure of a narrative beginning, middle, and end. But more importantly, it shows them that everyone has a story to tell, and that our stories can connect and build upon one another. It's a physical representation of how ideas can link together to create something much bigger and more wonderful than any single idea alone. The kids absolutely love it. They see their small contribution become part of an epic tale. Patience is the golden thread that ties all of this together. There will be days of frustration. A child might struggle with the same letter for weeks. They might look at a simple word and feel their mind go blank. In those moments, the worst thing you can do is show impatience. It shuts them down. Instead, we take a deep breath. We might say, "This one is tricky, isn't it? Let's try something else for a bit." We might go back to a book they love and already know, just to rebuild their confidence. Pushing a child when they truly stuck is like trying to force a key into the wrong lock. They've been building entire worlds in their minds, just waiting for a safe space to let them out. I had one little girl who barely spoke for months. One day, she silently handed me a piece of paper. On it, she had drawn a detailed picture of a girl flying on a bird over a city, and underneath, she had written, "Me go high." It was 2 words, but it was a novel. It was her telling me about her dreams, her feelings, her desire to soar. In the quiet, we learn to listen not just with our ears, but with our eyes and our hearts. Ultimately, teaching children to read and write is about empowering them. It's giving them the keys to unlock all of human knowledge and the tools to add their own voice to the conversation. A child who can read can learn about anything they desired: dinosaurs, outer space, ancient history. A child who can write can share their thoughts, their feelings, and their unique perspective with the world. They can write a letter to a friend, a poem for their parent, or the next great fantasy novel. It's a fundamental human right, the right to understand and be understood. It's watching little seeds of potential grow into magnificent, unique flowers, each one contributing its own color and fragrance to the garden of the world. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, or just a friend, you can be a part of that magic. Read to them, listen to their stories, even the scribbled ones. Celebrate their every effort. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe and continue this conversation with me. See you next time. Have you ever watched someone shape a lump of clay on a potter's wheel? It's mesmerizing, isn't it? The way their hands, steady and knowing, coax the earth into a form. A gentle pressure here, a slight lift there, and slowly a vessel begins to rise. Or maybe you've seen a woodcarver, their tool peeling away delicate curls of wood, revealing the grain and the shape hidden within the block. The scent of pine or oak fills the air, a perfume of patience and precision. And what about leatherworking? The rhythmic tap of the mallet, the careful stitching that pulls rugged hide into a beautiful, lasting object. There's a quiet magic in these moments, a deep, satisfying peace that comes from creating something tangible with your own 2 hands. In a world that rushes and buzzes with digital noise, there's a growing pullback to the real, the physical, the handmade. This isn't just about making things. It's about a connection. It's the feeling of the material under your fingertips, the focus that quiets the mind, and the immense pride that swells when you hold a finished piece. Imagine a workshop bathed in the warm, golden light of a low-hanging lamp. Dust motes dance in the sunbeams slanting through the window. The only sounds are the gentle scrape of a tool, the soft sigh of sandpaper on wood, the rhythmic thump of a hammer. This is a sanctuary, a place where time slows down. Today, we're going to step into that sanctuary. We're going to explore the world of skilled crafts, not as experts, but as curious observers, rediscovering the joy of making. We'll delve into the stories behind these ancient arts, meet the artisans who keep them alive, and maybe, just maybe, inspire you to pick up a tool and start your own creative journey. This is about more than just a hobby. It's about a way of being. It's about finding focus in a scattered world, creating beauty from simple materials and experiencing the profound satisfaction of seeing a thought become a thing. Let's start with wood, one of humanity's oldest and most beloved materials. Every piece of wood tells a story. The rings speak of seasons. The knots tell of branches that reached for the sun. A skilled woodworker learns to read this story. They don't just impose their will on the wood, they collaborate with it. They understand its strengths, its weaknesses, its unique character. The first step is always selection. Running a hand over a rough-sawn plank, feeling for the potential within. Will it become a smooth, flowing sculpture, a sturdy piece of furniture, or a delicate, intricately carved box? The process is one of gradual refinement. It begins with rough cuts, shaping the basic form. Then comes the patient work of carving, planing, and sanding. Each step brings the final piece closer to life. Think of the spoon carver, sitting quietly with a piece of birch. With a sharp hook knife, they hollow out the bowl, their movements fluid and practiced. They are not just carving a utensil. They are creating an object that will be held, used, and cherished for years. It's an intimate act. The final sanding, feeling the wood become impossibly smooth, and then applying the finish, watching the grain pop with color and depth. It's a moment of pure alchemy. Now, let's turn our attention from the forest to the earth itself. Pottery and ceramics are as old as civilization. It's a primal art form, taking a handful of mud and transforming it into a waterproof, durable, and beautiful object is nothing short of miraculous. The heart of the pottery studio is the wheel. Sitting down at the wheel for the first time is a lesson in humility. The clay seems to have a mind of its own, wobbling and collapsing under the slightest mistake. But with practice, you learn to center yourself, and in doing so, you learn to center the clay. It becomes a dance between your hands and the spinning mound. You learn the language of the clay, how much water it needs, how much pressure it can take. The world outside fades away. There is only you, the wheel, and the form emerging between your palms. But the wheel is just one path. Hand building offers a different kind of freedom. Coiling, pinching, slab building. These techniques allow for more organic and sculptural forms. You can feel the imprint of your fingers in the final piece, a direct and personal connection to your creation. It's a slower, more meditative process, building the form layer by layer. From wood and clay, we move to fiber and textiles. Weaving, knitting, embroidery, these are crafts woven into the very fabric of our history. Think about weaving. It's a binary art form at its core, the simple over and under of warp and weft threads. Yet, from this simple action, an infinite variety of patterns, textures, and images can be created. Setting up a loom is a meticulous process, threading hundreds, sometimes thousands, of individual yarns. But once the loom is warped, the weaving itself becomes a rhythmic, calming activity. The shuttle flies back and forth. The beater presses the threads into place, and slowly, inch by inch, the cloth grows before your eyes. Knitting and crochet are perhaps the most portable and accessible of the fiber arts. With just a pair of needles or a hook and a ball of yarn, you can create anything from a cozy sweater to a delicate piece of lace. It's a craft that can be done almost anywhere, on a bus, in a park, or curled up on the sofa. The repetitive motion of the stitches is incredibly soothing, often described as a form of active meditation. It keeps the hands busy and the mind calm, and there's a special kind of warmth that comes from wearing something you knitted yourself, a garment infused with hours of your own time and care. Then there is the art of dyeing, transforming plain fibers with colors derived from plants, minerals, and insects. Natural dyeing is a fascinating blend of science and serendipity. Foraging for onion skins, avocado pits, or marigolds, and then watching them release their hidden colors into a bubbling pot is a magical experience. Each dye bath is unique, influenced by the water, the temperature, and the specific plant material used. The resulting colors have a depth and life that synthetic dyes can rarely match. These textile arts are not just about creating functional items. They are about storytelling, about connecting with traditions passed down through generations, and about adding color and texture to our lives. So why are we so drawn to these crafts? In an age of mass production, a handmade object stands out. It carries a story. It has imperfections that make it unique. The slight waver in a potter's line, the tool mark on a carved bowl. These are not flaws. They are the signature of the human hand. They remind us that a person, not a machine, made this. This authenticity creates a powerful emotional connection. Owning a handmade mug, for example, changes the simple act of drinking coffee. You notice its weight, the feel of the handle, the texture of the glaze. It elevates a daily routine into a small moment of appreciation. Moreover, the act of making is incredibly empowering. It teaches us problem solving, patience, and resilience. When a project doesn't go as planned it often won't. We learn to adapt, to improvise, or to start over with new knowledge. This process builds confidence that extends far beyond the workshop. It proves that we are capable of creating, of bringing an idea into physical reality. In a world where so much of our work is intangible and digital, the satisfaction of finishing a physical project, of being able to say, "I made this," is profound. The journey into skilled crafts is a journey back to ourselves. It's a way to reconnect with our innate human creativity, to slow down and be present in the moment, and to find joy in the simple, tactile process of making. You don't need a fancy studio or expensive tools to begin. You can start by whittling a stick with a pocket knife, pinching a small bowl from a piece of air-dry clay, or learning a simple knitting stitch from a video online. The important thing is to start, to allow yourself to be a beginner, to make mistakes, and to enjoy the process of learning and creating. Find a craft that speaks to you, that piques your curiosity. Maybe it's the rugged appeal of leather, the smooth warmth of wood, the vibrant world of textiles, or the earthy magic of clay. Let your hands lead the way. You might just discover a passion you never knew you had, and a sense of peace and accomplishment that is truly priceless. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of craftsmanship. I hope you feel inspired. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own creative journeys in the comments below. Until next time, keep making. The day is winding down. The emails are answered. The tasks are checked off. And that familiar feeling of calm begins to settle in. There's a certain quiet magic in this moment, isn't there? The transition from the structured rhythm of work to the gentle, unscripted flow of home. I often think about this daily pilgrimage we all make, this return journey. It's more than just a commute. It's a shift in our very being. We shed the skin of our professional selves and step back into the comfort of who we are when no one else watching. It's a moment to breathe, to decompress, to simply be. And as the city's pulse softens, so does ours. The day's challenges and triumphs fade into a soft, hazy backdrop. and all that matters is this peaceful journey homeward, toward the people and places that ground us. As I walk these familiar streets, I can't help but feel a deep connection to the past. It's funny how a modern routine can echo ancient rhythms. Imagine a Roman artisan centuries ago packing up their tools as the sun began its descent, the potter wiping clay from their hands, the mosaicist sweeping up tiny colored stones. They too felt this same pull, this same sigh of relief as their workday concluded. Their concerns were different. Of course, the quality of the grain, the favor of the gods, the news from the forum, but the fundamental human experience of labor and rest that's timeless. They would walk home through bustling markets, the air filled with the smells of baking bread and roasting meats, the sounds of merchants closing their stalls and children playing in the courtyards. Our technology has changed, our jobs have evolved, but this deep-seated need to separate our labor from our life, to find sanctuary at the end of the day, that remains exactly the same. We are just the latest in a long, unbroken line of people seeking balance. We talk a lot about work-life balance today, as if it's some new, complex puzzle we have to solve. When we're at work, we give it our focus, our energy, our skill. But when we leave, we must truly leave. We have to learn to close the door, not just on the office, but on the mental space it occupies. It's about reclaiming our evenings, our weekends, our minds. The ancient Romans understood this. Their lives were built around cycles, the cycle of the sun, the seasons, the festivals. There were times for work, times for worship, times for celebration, and times for rest. They had a natural, enforced separation. Perhaps we can learn from that. Small acts that tell our brains, okay, that part of the day is done. Now it's time for me. It's not about being less dedicated to our work. It's about being more dedicated to our well-being so that we can continue to show up refreshed and inspired. Think of it like a garden. You can't just keep harvesting without ever watering the soil or letting the ground rest. Eventually, it will yield nothing. They need periods of quiet, of unstructured time, of simple joy. It's a paradox. The more we embrace rest, the more effective we become in our work. It is an essential, non-negotiable part of a healthy, sustainable, and fulfilling life. As I get closer to home, the sky begins to blush with the colors of sunset. Tonight, I'm making a point to watch it. The light catches the edges of the terracotta tiles, turning the rooftops into a sea of warm, glowing embers. These aren't just buildings. They are layers of history, homes that have witnessed countless sunsets just like this one. Each window holds a story, a family, a life unfolding. It's a gradual transition, a lesson in letting go gracefully. It reminds me that endings don't have to be abrupt or harsh, a promise of stars, of quiet, of renewal. This time of day, the golden hour, feels like a gift. It's a moment suspended between the hustle of the day and the stillness of the night. It's a time for reflection. What went well today? What did I learn? What am I grateful for? It doesn't have to be a monumental achievement. Maybe it was a kind word from a colleague, a problem I finally solved, or just the simple pleasure of a good cup of coffee this morning. Acknowledging these small moments of grace helps to reframe our entire day. It shifts the focus from what went wrong to what went right. We can have our own version of this, a quiet, internal moment of acknowledgement. Gratitude is a powerful anchor. The streetlights flicker on, one by one, like a trail of breadcrumbs leading me home. The air grows cooler, carrying the scent of night-blooming jasmine from a hidden courtyard. The sounds of the city have faded to a distant hum, replaced by the more intimate sounds of evening. The clatter of plates from an open window, a faint melody from a radio, the murmur of conversations. It's a reminder that we are all part of a larger community, each of us retreating into our own small sanctuaries for the night. We are simply people, heading home under the same emerging stars. And now, I'm here. The key turns in the lock, the door swings open, and I step across the threshold. The familiar scent of my own space, the sight of my favorite chair, the feeling of the floor beneath my feet takes an instant sense of belonging. It's a space that holds my history, my hopes, my quietest thoughts. This act of coming home is a powerful ritual of grounding. It centers us, reminds us of who we are at our core, away from the demands and expectations of the outside world. It's a return to self. And in this space, we have the freedom to be whatever we need to be. Quiet, silly, tired, creative. It's our personal kingdom, and stepping into it is the final, most important part of the day's journey. As the city outside settles into a deep sleep, a blanket of quiet drapes over the rooftops, the moon has taken the sun's place, casting a silvery glow on the ancient stones. It's time to let go of the day completely. They will be there tomorrow, and we will face them with renewed energy after a night of true rest. Sleep is not just an absence of consciousness. It's an active process of healing and restoration. It's when our bodies repair, our minds consolidate memories, and our spirits find peace. Let the gentle rhythm of your own breathing be a lullaby, guiding you into a deep and restorative slumber. Trust that you have done enough for today. You have earned this peace. The night is a sacred time. It's a pause, a reset. As you close your eyes, imagine all the worries of the day dissolving like mist. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. Sink into the comfort of your bed and allow yourself to drift. All that exists is this moment of perfect stillness, this gentle descent into sleep. Rest well. A new day, with all its potential and promise, waits for you on the other side of this peaceful night. Good night. Thanks for sharing this quiet moment with me. I hope you find rest and renewal tonight.